Uganda, the Pearl of Africa. Welcome, as we explore some essential travel tips and advice we learnt from our recent trip around this spectacular country. From important pre-travel information regarding such things as visas, jabs, and what to pack, to the best time of year to travel, what to expect on a tour, tipping, currency, and much, much more. Let's start with the golden question. When is the best time to visit Uganda? Conveniently, this lush corner of Africa enjoys 2 dry seasons. Yes, 2. Already showing off compared to the UK. These sunshine-filled stretches run from June to August, and again from December to February. These dry months are prime time for wildlife viewing. But thanks to Uganda's equatorial location, chilly is not really part of the vocabulary. So expect tropical warmth year-round. Once you have settled on your travel dates, the next exciting step is choosing the tour that will shape your entire adventure. A great place to begin is safaribookings.com, where you can browse a huge selection of tours from a wide range of operators. It makes comparing itineraries, styles, and budgets refreshingly straightforward, helping you find a trip that fits just right. For our trip, we travelled with Kaji Safaris. As a local company, their knowledge was invaluable. Communication was fast and helpful, and the booking process felt effortless from start to finish. Our guide, Arafat, was outstanding. To top it off, the accommodations comfortably exceeded what we expected from a mid-range trip, adding an extra layer of comfort to our days in the wild. Now for 2 essentials you'll want to organise before setting foot in Uganda. First up is your tourist visa, which must be completed online prior to travel. Most visitors apply for the single-entry visa, currently priced at $50 per person. It is wise to submit your application about 2 weeks before departure to allow plenty of time for processing and to avoid any last-minute stress. Secondly, and just as important, is your yellow fever vaccination. Uganda requires proof of this vaccine for entry, so it is not one to leave until the last minute. In the UK, yellow fever jabs are given at designated travel clinics, as many local GP surgeries do not provide them. We had ours done at Boots, and the process was quick and efficient. Because yellow fever is a live vaccine, it does carry some risks, and is not routinely offered to everyone. In the UK, it is generally not recommended for those over 60, meaning you may need a doctor's exemption letter if the vaccine is considered unsuitable for you. That said, there can be flexibility depending on your health, which was the case for my dad, who at 62 underwent a health check and was cleared to receive the vaccine, proving that being slightly over 60 does not automatically rule it out. Meanwhile, I kept reassuring my mum at the age of 59 3/4 that those 3 months made all the difference and she would be absolutely fine having the vaccine. It's also a good idea to check whether any other vaccinations are required or due for an update. A few other practical details are worth sorting before your trip. including currency, tipping, eSIMs, and mosquito repellent. Getting these small things organised ahead of time makes travelling far smoother once you arrive. The national currency is the Ugandan shilling, and the simplest way to obtain it is by withdrawing cash from a reputable ATM or exchanging money at a bank. That said, US dollars are widely accepted throughout the country. One key detail to keep in mind is that local banks are very particular about US dollar notes. Bills that are older than 2010, torn, heavily creased or marked with ink are typically rejected. As a result, most hotels, shops and tour operators will also refuse them. It is a good idea to bring smaller denominations, as they make tipping easier and help smaller shops provide change without difficulty. While tipping is not compulsory in Uganda, it is certainly appreciated and widely encouraged within the tourism industry. For example, Kaji Safaris suggested around $10 per person per day as a general guideline. Throughout your journey, you will meet many people who help shape your experience. From tour guides and boat drivers, to trekking guides, security teams, during chimpanzee and gorilla walks, and the ever-attentive lodge staff. These gestures of appreciation can quickly add up. On our 8-day tour, we found ourselves tipping roughly $200 to $250 per person overall. Another helpful thing to consider before travelling is whether to get an eSIM. It is one of the simplest ways to stay connected, saving you from hunting down a local phone shop or dealing with the hassle of installing a physical SIM card after a long journey. Although every lodge we stayed at offered Wi-Fi, it was often limited to shared spaces such as the lobby or restaurant rather than the rooms. Having mobile data meant we could check maps, stay in touch, and upload the occasional envy-inducing safari photo whenever we liked. Providers such as Nomad and Airroller are both reliable options and easy to set up before you leave, allowing you to land with one less thing to worry about. Finally, it is wise to pack plenty of mosquito repellent along with any additional deterrents such as wearable bracelets. This is worth noting because guides typically advise against using insect sprays during treks. While they are effective at keeping mosquitoes away, certain formulas can unintentionally attract bees and wasps. For many travellers heading to Uganda, chimpanzee and gorilla trekking are not just activities, they are the moments the whole trip quietly builds toward. Let's begin with chimpanzee trekking in Kibale National Park. Dressing appropriately will make the trek far more comfortable. Sturdy hiking boots or similar footwear, breathable hiking trousers, and a long-sleeved top are strongly recommended to protect against branches and insects. Add a small backpack, rain jacket, face mask, and plenty of bottled water, and you will be well prepared for the forest. The trek itself is very manageable. Our walk to find the chimpanzees took about 45 minutes, following mostly dirt paths with the occasional small bridge along the way. The terrain was largely flat, making it more of a relaxed forest stroll than a strenuous hike. Once you locate the chimpanzee family, you will be given one unforgettable hour to observe them. Whether you are capturing photos, filming their antics, or simply soaking in the moment, it is a rare privilege to watch these intelligent, energetic primates going about their daily lives. Chimpanzee communities can be surprisingly large, sometimes numbering up to 120 individuals. As they move freely through the forest, you may find yourself walking among them and occasionally closer than the recommended 8 meters, sometimes without even realizing it. They set the pace, after all. Next up, Bawindi Impenetrable Forest, where the long-awaited gorilla trek begins. Before setting off, we strongly recommend hiring a porter to carry your bag. Porters are members of nearby communities and work on a rotation system, meaning they typically have only 2 chances each month to take on this role and earn an income. Hiring one is not only helpful for you, but also directly supports local families. There is no haggling or pressure, as the fee is fixed at $20. There are a few notable differences when compared to chimpanzee trekking. Starting with the terrain, they are called mountain gorillas for good reason, and you should be prepared for a more demanding hike that involves climbing and descending some fairly steep hills. The forests can be wet and muddy, making the ground slippery in places, so the occasional stumble is not uncommon. Gorilla treks begin from several different starting points, each carefully organised to protect both visitors and the animals. At ours, there were 10 groups of 8 people, and each group was assigned its own gorilla family. This is the only family you are permitted to visit. If another group is encountered along the way, you continue hiking rather than stopping, which is one reason the trek can sometimes take longer than expected. From the moment you set off to the moment you return, the experience can span several hours, depending on the gorilla's location that day. Including our precious 1 hour with the gorillas, we spent roughly 4.5 hours in the forest. When we arrived back at the starting point, we discovered we were the 3rd group to return, a reminder that every trek unfolds at its own pace. If you are planning to tip, today is the most significant day of the trip, as many people play a part in making the experience possible. This includes the guide, 2 security staff, and 4 trackers who head out early in the morning to locate your specific gorilla family and then follow them throughout the day, keeping your guide updated on their whereabouts. We also chose to tip the porter, as they carried a bag full of bottled water for us all day, and we truly appreciated their effort. Finally, if you visit Uganda, it is likely to be one of the most amazing trips you've ever been on. It certainly was for us. But remember, there are risks being around wild animals, so be sensible and be vigilant. Whether walking with rhinos, getting back from an evening game safari to find a herd of elephants outside your room, or dinner being interrupted by a hippo, make sure you stay safe.